Hey, what's up? William Winterton here. Setting up your coaching business is not a one-size-fits-all structure. Not everything works for everybody the same way. And to prove my point, I want to share this amazing conversation I had just a few weeks ago with Sandra Clark. As I build my coaching business, I want to know how to effectively serve clients and make more money doing it. This podcast will pull back the curtain to reveal exactly how successful coaches are building their empires. Join me as I engage with top coaches from all over the world to discover their secrets. No theatrics and no theory, just real life strategy. My name is William Winterton, and this is Coaching Success Radio. Hey, it's William Winterton, and it is Coaching Success Radio. I get a lot of questions from my clients and people who are checking me out and finding out what kind of coaching I do and what kind of service I provide. And clearly, I work with coaches to help you scale your business up. So I have a lot of great conversations, which actually ends up feeding a lot of the content that goes into these podcasts because I get to hear exactly what people want to know. And then I go out and I find the experts to talk about those subjects. It's really kind of a cool idea, and it helps everybody out, right? Win-win. So one of the questions that I get a lot is the structure on how to set up your coaching business, to actual structure to help serve your clients. Should I do a 3-month program, a 30-day program, a one-to-one coaching call, a Zoom conference call with multiple people? Should I do a live retreat? Should I have, what kind of a structure should I have set up for actually coaching and training? And I want to just share with you, first of all, that it depends on what your business is. It depends on what your model is, what you're teaching, who you're talking to, who your audience is, what their needs are. All those factors go into play. But I'm going to bring on a conversation that I had a little while ago with Sandra Clark. Sandra is an expert at LinkedIn, and she's a coach and a consultant, has been doing this for a very long time, and has just through trial and error set up a program that works for her, and her system is fantastic. It may not be ideal for you, but here's what I want you to take out of this podcast. First of all, it's amazing to have a great social media presence on Facebook, and it's a social media presence on Instagram if you're into that, but LinkedIn is another incredible resource that a lot of people don't really know how to use because it seems like it's a little bit too business or too structured or too antisocial, or it's too something about it that doesn't click. I know I didn't have a big concern about LinkedIn when I first started working with Sandra, and now that I've worked with her a little bit, I understand there's a great importance to having an amazing LinkedIn profile set up. So I want you to take that away, that make sure you're always on top of what it is and improving your social presence online. But the bigger takeaway for this is to see how Sandra has set up her business to work for her, just kind of ignoring all the rules of social protocol of what coaching ought to do and how to set up your coaching structure. It works for her. It's a fantastic system. She's done very, very well with it, and I want her to be able to share that with you. Keep your mind open and just take it in, see what you can get out of it, and maybe apply some of the principles to your own business. Here's Sandra Clark and my conversation. Hello and welcome back. It's William Winterton. I am very excited today. We have another amazing guest, and I want to preface this by saying I've gotten to know Sandra a little bit over the past few months of being in another group with her and hearing some of her amazing wisdom through basically how she's able to use LinkedIn to grow her business and grow other people's businesses as well. She got me very intrigued. I've had a few conversations with her, and now I invited her to join us on the podcast because I just don't think it's fair to not share everything she's got to impart, not only in LinkedIn, but through her growing her business. So Miss Sandra Clark, how you doing?
Hi, how are you today?
I am fabulous. I think it's important too to just say when you're getting started in this, you were taking people on because you knew how to do it, and then you instantly said, I need to start making money from this. So can you take us through that process a little bit about just helping people and then kind of figuring out how you're going to charge and how your rates were going to go and how you were going to kind of design all that? Because
okay, that's a tough one.
Well, it is, and I want to back it up a little bit and give you a little bit of space. That's kind of challenging, but the reason I'm asking that is because a lot of people getting started are very nervous about charging or charging too much. Mm-hmm. And so I want you to kind of speak to that a little bit in your journey of that.
You've got to be careful about not getting into this hourly trap of charging per hour, because it's more than just the time I spend working with someone. I prep for them. I'm available afterwards to answer questions. Yes. So, and I think it's really hard. You think, am I worth this? Is anybody going to pay for me to do this? And even I think starting before that, before you start charging, when you've got people you're working with and you're doing it for free, and you set up your business, whether you set up a website or you set it up on LinkedIn, and you say, well, but I don't have any paying clients. Doesn't matter. You have clients. Nobody else cares whether you're paying or not. You have clients. So if you start at that point of saying the clients, the people I'm working with for free are my clients, and I can legitimately call myself a business, and they're my clients. That's almost a harder point to start. And then when you've got that, finding a price point. If you start too low, it's really hard to increase your prices, I think. So that's a real danger. So better at least to start somewhere in the middle, like above where you're quite comfortable with, because it's still going to be uncomfortable to move your prices up. But you know, the kind of coaching I do is a little different. Most of the coaches you talk to probably do ongoing coaching. Mine is a kind of one and done. I work with people for a couple of hours. I get them all set up. I show them how to use LinkedIn. They might come back to me for some additional help, but really we fix it and they move on. So it's like I have to constantly get new clients into the pipeline because I take care of them and I shoot them out. They're not staying with me. So it's a different model. So my pricing is even trickier in a way.
That is interesting. So I didn't realize that. I was going to ask you. That was my next question. Is what kind of a because it's a training basically to use a specific tool, right? And so having an ongoing training doesn't make sense. But I've seen courses online where there's an 8-week program or a 12-week program or a 30-day whatever. But you're saying you really do. I come to you as a client and I would get help. It would be a session, be a one-time session, couple of hours, and go. So yeah, it is a continual pipeline issue for you.
Yeah, I am developing a program, having looked at all the online programs, being a part of one, trying to think of something that would be value added and make sense. I've discovered I like working with people short term. I like to fix it, get them, you know, set up and move on. Yeah. So I have come up with a program I'm going to be doing in a few months that will be 12 weeks. It'll be like kind of meet once a week, and we'll kind of target it where, you know, you will not only complete your profile, but you'll also start posting content. But it's limited. It's 3 months.
Right.
And if you take advantage of it, you'll be in a good state. So that's my compromise.
Got it. Well, and that's what's nice too, is that, again, what's amazing about this business is you set it up how you want it. You can have coaches that, you know, they are clients that, you know, stay with you for years, and you can have some that, like you get the record though. I've not talked to anybody who has anybody for just a couple of hours, one and out. That's a new record. I had to find the 10-minute coach.
Do you remember that there's a kind of therapy, counseling? It's got a particular fancy name. I don't remember what it is. I call it Just Do It. And it was along the lines of, okay, you're not feeling like you're in love with your husband anymore or whatever. You know, you don't go for like weeks and weeks, months, years of therapy. You go in and, you know, you're told basically act like you love him. Act like you love him. You'll start feeling love. You'll get better positive reaction back. So it's like, just act as if you do it. So I love that kind of approach. Just see the world the way you want to see it. Act the way you want to be seen, and just move on. So if I ever did therapy, it would probably be along that line.
I went in and out. I don't want to deal with it. I don't have time. Just give me your overview as far as LinkedIn and the training of it. Why was this the piece that you got into? From your previous company, did you have a lot of LinkedIn work, or was it something that just kind of organically grew out as something you were fascinated by and just became really very good at?
I think LinkedIn was invented just so that I could have a career in it. I mean, you know, obviously when I was a kid or growing up, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, computers were still the size of houses or something.
Right.
But my background is I was a teacher originally. I was also a theater director. Both of my degrees are in theater arts. And I used to make people look good on stage. And I was a teacher also. So who knew that now I get to make people, instead of making them look good on stage, I make them look good on the stage of LinkedIn. And I get to teach them how to use it. And I've always been in the workplace. That was my management style, was mentoring, coaching, helping bring the best out of people. And all of those things have come together now and just fit perfectly. So when I worked at the university, LinkedIn had just started. It wasn't around for that long. And there were some competing products out there that were more like online address books.
Okay.
And so I kind of didn't join LinkedIn the first year because I'm seeing, okay, which of these things is actually going to last? So it was the second year that LinkedIn was existence that I joined. And then it was useful at the university to find connections for my business there. And then when I was going to be laid off, they gave me 3 months notice. And I spent a lot of that time making sure I connected with everybody I'd ever met through the university, because working for the university, people were mostly going to say yes.
Right.
But when I went out on my own, maybe they wouldn't. So I just spent that time building my network, knowing that in some way it would be useful. So it just kind of grew organically, that all of these things came together, that, oh, I have an expertise. It fits every part of my personality. I love this one and done, fix people, move them out. There's not too often we can do that in life.
Right.
And I get to work with the most interesting and amazing people. And you know what? I can like almost anybody for just 2 hours.
Yep. That's awesome.
And it's fun, and they're different. And people sometimes say you should concentrate like on niche. A big fashionable thing for a number of years was women, focus on women. Well, you know what? I love working with men. It's so refreshing to see that they're just as insecure as women about putting themselves out there online and putting their brand and representing themselves. So it's very reassuring to me. There are other people besides my husband who are actually really nice people.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's at least 2 of us out there, so that's very cool. No, it is. I have to say, I really appreciate the idea that you build a ton of really amazing, short-term, fun, exciting relationships, and some of these, I'm sure, eventually, are going to lead into referrals and that kind of stuff. But there's also just it's when it's this intimate for 2 hours. We're just going to work really hard. We're going to work really solid, and you have 100% attention on that. I imagine the results are pretty incredible. Being able to help people out like that and really focus in on what they're trying to fix, rather than giving them a bunch of material. That's fine, but they just want to solve their problem, right? So you kind of cut through all that red tape. You say, we're not going to focus on any of the garbage that's going to keep you busy. We're going to just focus on this, and we're going to get you the results. And people are that's very refreshing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, there's not much in life we can do and fix a problem in a couple of hours. So
that's awesome. Well, I would just want to close out with a couple of things. First of all, anybody who's listening who is brand new to either coaching, consulting, mentoring, or just concerned about getting started for themselves, really building their business up and growing themselves up, is there anything you would offer to somebody who's in that position, who's relatively new, and just anything that's help them out getting their business up and running?
I would say pick 1 or 2 things that you are going to do and just do those, primarily because we get caught up in like all the types of social media we're supposed to do, the website, we're supposed to do phoning, we're supposed to do all these things. I say pick a couple. If LinkedIn is a good avenue for you, do that. If Facebook's a good one, if Instagram is, if emailing is good, if speaking is good, just do 1 or 2 things. Feel that you're fairly confident with them. It's like spinning plates before you add another. So otherwise you get overwhelmed. Just, I'm supposed to do all of this. I just can't. So that would be my probably best advice. Pick 1 or 2 things and just do those.
You're just a keep it simple, keep it focused kind of person. I love it. That's awesome. So, well, thank you. If anybody wanted to reach out to you, because I know somebody listening to this, especially now when you know that your LinkedIn profile, just getting it set up, knowing that they would have an opportunity to work with you just for a short bit of time, and it's not going to cost them $20,000 to go through a master class. They're just going to go in and get an intensive with you. How do people reach out to you? How do people get a hold of you?
Well, obviously they can look at my LinkedIn profile, Sandra Clark. They can email me, sandra@linkedinmentoring.com, or even they don't even have to talk to a real person. They can go to my website, linkedinmentoring.com. They can do searches for blogs I've written on every topic, from your summary to your headline to being more than one thing, even to things like for the skeptics, people who don't believe in LinkedIn. You can search and you can just read stuff and start to educate yourself. And of course, I love it if people reach out and connect with me as well.
Awesome. Well, you are just like I said, you're a very refreshing conversation. It's just genuine. You know what you're talking about. You don't want to fluff it up. You just go straight to the point. And I love that. So thank you for taking the time today to have a chat. And this was incredibly valuable. I hope it was a good experience for you as well.
Well, yes, it was delightful. And you said that you might ask me the question, what makes this the perfect job for you?
Yes, and I did not ask, but please
And
tell me.
I want to tell you that. And that is when I finish at the end of a 2-hour coaching session, I am full of energy and excited. I'm not the least bit tired. So that's how I know that it's the perfect job for me.
Have you ever had a session where you just get with somebody and it's like, it is exhausting, it's just grueling, it's like, this one just didn't work out? Has that ever happened where you've not had, I mean, in 2 hours, I don't know how you get to that point. You just like, have you ever had that experience where like, this didn't work out, this person's not going there?
You know, sometimes I don't feel we've done as much as I would have liked to have done. Generally not the 2 hours. Sometimes I have a service where I will write people's profiles for them. Not my preferred thing. I'd much rather pull it out of them. And for those people, sometimes I still need some of their time.
Yes.
And that can be frustrating. So
Sure.
there was one person, I wrote his profile. I told him that he was going to have to use the profile and he just wasn't listening. So in the end, he wasn't happy because he thought he would have this profile and people would magically come and buy his product. Just was not going to happen. So I just took it all down and refunded him and let it go. I don't need that negative energy in my world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nope. Especially whenever you just, like you said, you design it yourself. This is what I'm going to do. And you're super specific, take it or leave it. And I love it. So, well, thank you again. And have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you. And you. Great talking with you, William. See you online.
Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. New episodes are coming out every few days, including lots of conversations with massively successful coaches sharing their secrets with you. So be sure to subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel so that you don't miss out. And if you're looking for a way to start making serious money from your coaching, you need to check out my free training. It's at williamwinterton.com. I lay out the step-by-step on how to start making 5 figures a month in the next 60 days. Check it out, williamwinterton.com. I'll see you next time.